First thing I want to do is thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, for keeping us safe. Yes, there was an accident, and no, it wasn't His will. But the Word of God says that He works all things for good for those who love Him. And I can promise you that all of us that were there love Him. And there were definitely angels there. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. You guys have shown immense love and support for me and my family, my crew. I can't thank you guys enough for following us along this hard journey that we're embarking on. I also want to thank the first responders. They were amazing. They were here quick. They were on it. They did an incredible job. Sarasota County Sheriff's Department, every step of the way, they've had my back. They've been there to support me and keep me safe as well through this difficult time. It's been a rough couple days for sure. Without question, yesterday was the roughest day of my life. And I thought I had some rough days in my life. Of course, we all say it'll never happen to me. Although I knew that it was a possibility, I never realized it was a reality, or it could become a reality. Obviously shock, some confusion. I don't know how to put it into words. But all along, I've always said, our family, through triumph and tragedy, we've continued on. And I believe that that words are powerful. And there was triumph through this tragedy. Yes, it was tragic. The entire incident, it was a nightmare. But there's triumph through it. There were 8 of us on that wire. We'd been training for about 2 months. Our intentions were to break a Guinness World Record, which we have broke on multiple occasions training in this tent. We had every intention of doing that this evening and carrying it through the run. Accidents happen. We were halfway out on the wire, and a couple people in the front started to get kicked around and lose their balance, and we don't know yet what happened. There's thoughts that somebody might have fainted. We just don't know. Again, it's the reality of what we all live. We take life for granted often. We're so blessed that no one was injured to the point of not being able to walk again. All of their injuries, they will fully recover. I've been assured by some of the best doctors in the country. Some of them have flown in from around the country just to take care of my family. And I've been assured that everybody will fully recover. If you don't believe in God, you better start now, because it's a miracle. One of the guys was up over 40 feet high on top of that pyramid, and he'll walk out of the hospital on his own will today. He had 3 broken toes. That's a miracle, guys. One of the guys fell from about 30 feet. He walked off out of the ring immediately. That's a miracle. I was able to catch the wire. As I've told you guys time and time again, I've trained my whole life for that. We all train for that. It doesn't always work out, but we've all trained for it. My cousin Blake was able to grab the wire, and Nik, one of our other performers that's performed with us for several years, we were all able to grab the wire and hold on. But 5 did come down to the ground. Again, 2 of them will be fine as of today. They've got some bumps and scrapes and bruises. We all do. I'm extremely sore from the impact that I took, and it was nothing compared to what those guys took. The other 3, including my aunt, will fully recover. It is only broken bones. There is no serious spinal injuries whatsoever. Everybody has full use of all of their extremities. My biggest fear, of course, when that happened was, I guess I'll back up. When it happened, I grabbed the wire. I climbed hand over hand to that platform, got on the platform. I don't remember how I got to the ground, and one of my guys who was there thinks that he believes I jumped from the wire. I feel like I did, but I don't know if I did or not. Again, I just went into rescue mode. What am I going to do? Who can I help? I went and checked on everybody individually, found out who was worse. My sister probably had the majority of the injuries. and I was able to go and console her and hold her until the EMTs came, rode with them to the in the ambulance to the hospital. The entire time she was completely coherent. She was telling me, I don't understand what just happened. Why did it happen? She counted to 20 for me. She said her ABC. She told me her date of birth. She had all the important vital signs, as did the other individuals. Again, there's 4 in the hospital right now. 1 will be released within the next couple hours, we believe. They're just checking his toes out to make sure that they're not going to want to put a cast on him whatsoever. But I was just there with everybody. I just spoke with everybody. And there's 3 words that I've lived by, and you guys know them well because all of you guys know me well, and they're never give up. And of course, that goes through your mind. There's a struggle of what do I do? Do I perform tonight, or do I sit it out? So I decided to make that a decision of those that were in the hospital and the others that were on the wire with me. And I've asked every one of them individually, privately, separately, and everybody unanimously said, yes, we want you to get on that wire again. That's what we do. That's who we are. So this evening, I will be performing in this evening's show along with some of the other guys that were involved in that accident. You always hear the show must go on. Again, it's hard for people to comprehend, but this is life. This is my passion. This isn't a job. This isn't a career. This is who I am. My great-grandfather said life is on the wire and everything else is just waiting. And that's the way we live. That's where I feel alive. So tonight's performance clearly will be in the honor of those that are injured. It is for them. It is also for my ancestors, many of them who lost their lives performing. My great-grandfather was involved in that accident back in 1962 when the 7-person pyramid fell, where they weren't so lucky. And 2 of my uncles were killed and 1 was paralyzed from the waist down. We pray before every performance as a family. We're not all family direct, but I consider everybody in that act my family as much as anyone else. Maybe not blood related, but they're family. And I can tell you that prayer works. It does. God was surrounding us. It could have been much worse. Again, I want to be clear. It wasn't God's will that accident happened in any way, but He will get the glory through this. The fact that everybody is going to walk out of that hospital on their own will is a miracle in itself. That everybody's alive is a miracle. God was surrounding us. Again, it's going to be a road. Their injuries are all vary from broken feet, broken pelvis, broken a couple areas of an arm broke, some facial fractures. But I'm assured by, again, these great surgeons that they will fully recover. Again, I don't know what else to say other than it's a miracle. The doctors said it's a miracle. The head of surgery of emergency surgery, trauma surgery at Sarasota Memorial said people don't live from accidents like this. They were prepared. They set up a triage. They were prepared to accept 5 people that they didn't know if they were going to live. Everyone that went in that hospital was talking when they entered those doors and completely coherent. God watches over us. I think that's about all I have to say, but I will take some questions. I won't be doing any one-on-one interviews, not at this point. We could possibly do something later on or tomorrow, but I've got a wire to get on, so I don't have a whole lot of time to do one-on-one interviews. Will it be challenging? Yes, of course. But again, for my family, for my ancestors, in their honor, I will do it and I will succeed. And we'll put on a great show. My great-grandfather, after that accident, I started to say in 62, he snuck out of the hospital because he had broken ribs and a couple other injuries, and he snuck out of the hospital and got back on that wire and performed. So, again, this is what he would want. I actually have a walk tomorrow at Amalie Arena. I'll be over 80 to 100 feet high. It's for a private event. Be about 20,000 people there. And I was debating whether I should do it or not. And my dad sent me a text and said, you know what? I got your back. If you're going to do that walk, I'm there with you. And that was my reassurance because I was struggling with it in my mind, talking with my wife. I want everybody to understand this is a family decision. This isn't my decision alone. As I said, I talked to everybody that's in the hospital and that is not. I talked to my parents, of course, to make sure that I had their blessing before I said, yes, we're going to go back. My wife, of course, is probably the most important one of all. And I know if I have her support, that's what I'm supposed to do, and I fully have her support. Again, it's not easy, but you know what? We all go through trials in life, and I've learned the trials that I've gone through have made me stronger and a better person. And I know that this situation will not only make me a better person and a stronger person, but hopefully inspire others. If you can't be inspired by somebody falling that high and living through it, then I don't know what will inspire you. I always have said that, that I live by those 3 words, never give up. And again, I was talking yesterday, are you going to get back on that wire? And if I want to be an example to people that are struggling with cancer or that are dealing with financial struggles or marital struggles, and I'm telling them not to give up and I give up, then what kind of example am I? What kind of role model am I? I've been blessed with an amazing platform, and I choose to be a man of integrity and hopefully be an example to our next generations, that no matter what they face, to not give up. And that's my goal. That's been my goal in life. I said it recently. When I started walking the wire, it was about impressing girls and making money. It's not about that anymore. It's about inspiring people to do get greater things, and that they can overcome any challenge. There's no legacy in impressing girls and money. That all goes away when you die. But if I can leave a legacy by maybe a lasting imprint in someone's mind, that through any challenge that you face, you can make it through, then I'm doing my job. And my life will outlive, my legacy will far outlive my life, and that's important to me. Gary, you got a question?
Yeah, Nick, I got some calls today from people who wanted to know when you were rehearsing, there was no net. What is the psychology behind it?
Yeah, so that's right. So there's no net. When we rehearse, we don't use a net. And here's why. We rehearsed at about 12 feet high for the last month and a half. Yes, you can sustain injuries from 12 feet. Of course you can. We're all very athletic, and that was reiterated by the doctors over and over again, that if it wasn't for the muscle mass that we had, we would have had much more, many more injuries, all of us. Matter of fact, the guy who dropped from 28 feet is in the gym 4 hours a day. He's a goofball. That's all he likes to do. But you know what? That saved him. He landed on the ground. He's got some bruised heels, some swelling in the ankles, but he was released within 3 hours of an MRI, a CAT scan, and some x-rays. But we don't train with a net. It's been taught for generations that a net can be a false sense of security. I have an uncle that landed in a net, bounced out, and was killed. So again, it's all about training and preparing. And you can train and prepare to drive your whole life, but there's a good chance that 90% of us here are going to get in a car accident. It's just the reality of what we choose to do, what our passion is. Our passion outweighs the dangers, the risk, I guess. Because we love what we do so much, but we don't train with the net. The wire was rigged at 28 feet, and again, we were 4 layers high, so you have to figure 5 foot at least per person. The top girl was at 28 plus 15, so what is that? 38, 43 feet. That was her hips were at 43 feet. So again, it's a miracle. Yes, ma'am. No, so the 8-man pyramid won't happen, although I'm trying to convince them to get out of the hospital and do it with me. Actually, one of them yesterday who's hospitalized said, get me out of here, I need to get back on the wire. No, there's no way that we could pull that off at this point. But it'll involve me, my cousin, a couple of the other guys, again, that were involved in that accident. My wife will be involved, and then another girl that works with our family. So it'll be a smaller act, but I can assure you that people will still be impressed by what they see.
You may have answered this question already, but...
Then don't ask it. No, I'm just kidding.
Is there any stunt that you will not try that you think is too dangerous?
Look, again, as I said, everything I run past my family. They're my buffer, my barrier. I've been blessed with a mind that doesn't give up, and that's willing to take any challenge. And if you tell me it can't happen, then I'm going to make it happen. Niagara Falls took changing a law in the United States and one in Canada that was over 100 years old just to do it. I did it because they said I couldn't do it. And changed those laws, and I did it legit, and I did it with permission and with integrity and respect the entire time. I'm sure there's some things that I wouldn't do. I haven't found them yet. But again, what people don't understand is I don't see it as a stunt. I see it as my passion in my life. That's what I live for. I live, die, eat, breathe, and sleep performing, circus, wire walking. That's who I am. It's through and through. I can't, it's in my blood. 7 generations, 230 years of my family. It's who I am. Yes, Kim. Yeah, I mean, we always learn from our accidents. We learn from our past family accidents. Will it change training? I don't know. That's a good question. We'll obviously all sit down and figure out what can be done different. My great-grandfather got up and did that 7-person pyramid a few years later, and to be honest with you, I was scrambling to figure out if we could do it tonight, if I could find the right people. I don't know if it'll affect training or not. We take risks. That's what we do. Race car drivers take risks, and they get in accidents. It's what we do. Praise God that we're all alive and we're all still walking. I mean, again, that's all I can say is, God is a great God. Billy?
A couple of questions. Can you give us the names of the folks who were up there on the wire with you yesterday? And also, what position were you in on the wire?
Sure. So as far as names go, I just want to respect their privacy, so I don't want to give them out yet. I need to get their permission. I wanted to ask before and I forgot to. I was in the back position, so I was at the helm, basically. I was the one who was calling all the shots. I had to watch the thing play out in front of my eyes in slow motion. I've probably watched it 1,000 times, not by choice, but that's just the way things happen. I didn't sleep much last night because it just kept replaying and replaying and replaying. It is... It's not a great feeling, but again, I've got a creator that I can cast all my cares upon, and that's what I continue to do. And, I always talk about being positive and not letting your mind go to a negative place, and that's what I continue to do. Obviously, you have to be realistic. I don't deny the fact that an accident happened. Again, I try to continually block out that negative with positive. Yes, it's a reality that it happened, but, how can we make it better? How can we make it safer? And we did it, many, many years, since 62 we've done it, without incident. Yes, sir.
Will there be any acknowledgement of the performers, the victims during tonight's show?
There probably will be. There's a chance that there will be. It's something that we're still working on. Again, I was at the hospital till 3 in the morning last night, and then back there again this morning. I'm guessing there probably will be an acknowledgement. Certainly, tonight's performance is a performance for performers. Everybody that'll be in this tent this evening, or 75% of them, will have the same blood that I do. Generations and generations of doing what I do. Their outpouring and their support has been overwhelming as well. We're all a family. If you're in this industry, you're a family. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of professional competition, and that's healthy. And there's obviously feuds between family members, etc. But all that goes away. In the end, we're all family, and that all goes away. And again, I've had outpouring from many people in my industry. Most of them. I've got 700 texts on my phone that I haven't looked at, I think, and hundreds of emails. So, again, the love that they've showed is overwhelming. So this evening we'll be performing for them. So they understand it. They have that passion that we do as well. But of course, our goal will be to acknowledge them. And again, we're doing it for them. Yes, ma'am.
Nick, when you do a rehearsal, do you do the pyramid more than one time?
So yes, do we do the pyramid more than one time in rehearsal? Yes, we do. Generally, and in practice, about 12 feet off the ground in my house, we were doing it about 16 times a day. The reason why we do that is to know that we can do it once we get up higher. And we did it without incident. So again, other than saying it's an accident, it's an accident. There's no other explanation. Accidents happen. We're in a risky business, and we train in some very tough conditions even. So again, we don't know what played into it. We don't know if it was hot. It wasn't 150 degrees, but it was warm. If that played a role in it, we just don't know. Again, to me, it felt like someone passed out, blacked out, just momentarily. But that's all it takes. Once you black out, if you try to maintain your balance in that pyramid, you're not going to be able to regain, because now you start kicking everybody else around, and everybody has to compensate for that. Yes, ma'am.
When you said you can't remember exactly how you got on the ground, what is it like for circus performers? Are you trained to know how to fall?
Yeah, look, so you're not necessarily trained to know how to fall, but we're all very athletic. We all, most of us are very limber. and agile and like cats. So because of that, it's just sort of natural that you know, I have been blessed with a mind where my heart rate slows down during traumatic situations, or any stressful situation. You know, Grand Canyon, Niagara Falls, my heart rate, it's always monitored, it slows down. So I'm able to just take everything in and sort of assess the situation and stay calm, completely calm and composed. Again, that being said, though, I really don't know how I got to the ground. I may have climbed down. I just know that one of my best friends was just outside of the ring, and I was in the ring before him, and I was the one who was up about 15 feet out on the wire, hanging on.
Was anybody video recording it at the time?
You know, I'm not sure. There were people in the tent, but at this time, I don't know if it was videoed or not. I'm hoping not, but we could also learn from that too.
What are your plans for trying to meet Chris Sarasota again?
Look, if the opportunity presents itself, I absolutely will. Again, it's a drive that I have in me. I can't explain it. It may sound stupid to most. It may sound foolish to most. It's who I am. I mean, you don't tell Tiger Woods to put down the golf club because he had a bad game. He keeps on golfing. It's just the way it is.
What's your mindset going into tonight? Like right before the actual act.
Look, I mean, I'm sure it'll be emotional. The first time I had been in that tent was 30 seconds before I walked out here since that accident. It's tough. It'll be tough. Not tough in the sense of am I going to make it in any way, or I wouldn't get up there. But, you know, clearly there's been people that are hurt. I love those people dearly. They're very close to me, and I'll be thinking about them. So that's why it'll be emotional. Yes.
How many people that fell or were on the wire were part of your family?
There were 4 on the wire that were part of my family, 4 of the 8. And 2 of them, the 2 females, were injured.
Your aunt and sister?
Correct.
Were
Yes.
there any near mishaps in practice the last few weeks?
No, it's gone smooth. I mean, look, what we're doing is dangerous, and it's stressful, and, you know, it's a mental game and all that. So, you know, we build a core team around us of people that have strong minds. And there was nothing that was, there was nothing. Look, we talk before every performance, before every practice, and every show. Right before that pyramid, I will look up to everybody. After the announcement's made, the lights come back up, I look at every individual. Do you feel confident? Are you ready to go? And I get the acknowledgement. And they all are told over and over and over again that if they ever feel uncomfortable, I could care less if the president's sitting in the audience. We're not getting out on that wire. Period. There's not a second thought. We will not take that first step. I will not hold any grudges. In fact, I will love you even more that you're bold enough, that you're willing to speak up. So that's stressed over and over again. And everybody in the hospital has stressed, look, Nick, we all take these risks. We all know what risk we're getting into. We all do this because we love it. And this is part of taking that risk. They all acknowledge that. They all recognize that. And it's the reality of what we do. Yes, ma'am.
Sounds like you don't have any fear of actually walking on the wire in court. How do you keep it in your, how do you focus your mind to like,
Yeah, look, it's something that I encourage people to practice in everyday life. You know, I remember getting in, I talk about in my book, Balance, about the marital struggles that I had. And it was all about my mind and letting my mind wander places and worrying that if my wife, and it was a little bit of the way I was raised, but if my wife went to the mall and we were in a bad part of town, and she went to the mall, that she wasn't going to make it back safely. So I didn't want her to go to the mall. I didn't want her to go dancing because I was jealous and worried that she was going to find another man. It's just the reality. And it was all my mind. And through that situation, I learned the power of our mind. And if we can control that negativity and keep it positive and counter that with, no, my wife loves me and she didn't say I do and I love you for better or worse for no reason. It makes life a lot easier. And the more that I said, you know what, the more I let go, the more she didn't want to go do that stuff because she wanted me with her. Now, she wanted me with her before too, but I have 2 left feet, so I wouldn't go to the club with her. So it was my fault anyways. But that's the reality of it, is the power of the mind is strong. And I learned that through situations like that. and to always focus on the positive and not the negative. The more that we focus on negative, the more we're drawn. It's like when you're driving in a car and you look off to the right. As you look off to the right, you're gonna veer that way. So if you look towards negativity, you're going to be drawn towards negativity. And if you choose to not allow your mind to go that route and to counter that with something positive immediately, then you will go the right direction. And again, that works for everybody, from cancer patients to people struggling in a marriage. It doesn't matter. It's universal. That's the one thing about the God I serve, is it's universal. Whether you believe in him or not, his word still works. So he loves you whether you believe in him or not. So again, that is that's the power of the mind that God has given us.
Give us the secret. How you walk a wire.
That's right. 2 left feet. That's what it takes. I think, anybody have anything else important? All right.
Just to be clear, is anyone else in
No, they are in ICU, but it has more to do with security, keeping them safe, keeping you guys away from them, that sort of stuff. But really, that's what it's about. It's about keeping them in a secure location. But again, everybody's coherent. Everybody's talking to me. I talked to all of them this morning. Again, in the end, what matters is the fact that everybody is going to walk on their own will. There's no brain damage. All of the internal bleeding has stopped. There was very little in the beginning. In fact, miraculous results. My sister had a little internal bleeding in her liver and a little a laceration there, and it stopped before they even got to the hospital. The doctors were amazed. They were blown away. So again, it's a miracle. God's at work. So if you want to talk to me about that, I'll do a one-on-one. If you want to talk to me about God, but other than that, I'll talk to you. Yeah, Billy.
Yeah, this is a gross question, but I'm sure it's on a lot of people's minds. What does something like this do to ticket sales?
What does something like this do to ticket sales? I think that I think it can go either way. Look, the people go to NASCAR races as much to see the accident as they do the checkered flag. It's the reality of what we do. So I think that clearly you guys being here is only promoting it more. And the fact that I'm coming back, it's my opinion is it'll probably sell out quick, so buy your tickets now. Yeah, I mean, that's a fact. circusarts.org. Come see me. Thank you guys for being here again. Thank you for all the love you've shown me. I'm sure I'm going to be seeing a lot of you guys again this evening during that performance. And again, I can't thank you guys enough for your love and your support, and all of your staffs back in New York and here in Sarasota and in the region. You guys have always been great. And the personal text that you guys have sent me just saying, hey, we're here with you. We're here for you. Kerry Sanders from NBC has been there since my first world record. I love that man. I broke my first world record in 2008 on the Today Show. Live, I rode a bicycle between two skyscrapers. Well, actually a skyscraper from a crane in Newark, New Jersey, and he was waiting for me on the other side. And he's just always been there, and he's been a great friend. And the first text was, "Are you okay?" It wasn't, "Can I come with the camera?" That was the second question. But anyways, he's been a great friend, and thank you again, Kerry, for all your love and support. So thank you guys. Thank you.